Hey, CLF, we wanted to give you another thought this week, and a couple of things that have been really stern with me lately has been not just like last week, what is God doing kind of overall in this whole thing? I've been asking myself, what's God doing in me? What are some things that God is doing in our world are a big deal, but what is God doing in me individually? And I hope you're asking the same question. It's like, what is the Lord doing in you during this time? And something that I keep going back to is just, the hand of the Lord in discipline, we kind of think of it's harsh or it's critical or it's judgmental, but really the hand of the Lord in discipline is gracious, it's gentle, it's loving. And I wanted to read from Hebrews chapter 12 and just read a text about discipline. And I just want to talk for a moment about what God's doing and maybe what he could be doing in your life. So let's read that. Hebrews chapter 12, we're going to start in verse 5, where he says, "And have you forgotten the exhortation that addresses you as sons? My son, do not regard lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor be weary when reproved by him. For the Lord disciplines the one whom he loves, and chastises every son whom he receives. It's for discipline that you have to endure. God is treating you as sons. For what son is there for whom his father does not discipline? If you're left without discipline in which all have participated, then you're illegitimate children and not sons. Besides that, we have had earthly fathers who disciplined us, and we respected them. Shall we not much more be subject to the Father of spirits and live? For he disciplined us for a short time, as seemed best for them, but he disciplines us for our good, that we may share in his holiness. For the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields a peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it." One of the questions I've been asking myself through this time has been, what are the things that has been taken away from me or I've not allowed to do that maybe are things that I don't need to go back to? I don't know about you guys. I've been wondering, like, what's the status quo that God's trying to get out of my life? And I know for me, one of the things that God's really shown me through this has just been the overall busyness of life, the overall craziness of how life kind of hits you at all sides, and just allowing myself to kind of run through life without any intentionality. That's been one piece. The other thing that's been interesting is I've been asking, what are things I'm doing in my life right now because of the strict restrictions that I want to keep doing? I know for us as a family, it's just been sweet to be able to have dinner together. It's been sweet to be able to hang out together and do projects together. It's been nice to just be together. But in my soul, it's also been sweet just to slow down and read my Bible, to slow down and read other books, to slow down and write in my journal, to slow down and pray, and to spend more time before the Lord, examining my own heart and my own soul, and as well being incredibly grateful for what God's given me in my life. And so I just wonder, as you think about all that God's doing, whether it be our frustration with the restrictions of the government, whether it be what is God doing in the world through pandemics, I might ask you a different question. What is God doing in you right now? And what are things that you're currently doing because of the restrictions you don't want to lose sight of when the restrictions are let off? And then as well, what were things that you were doing before the restrictions that maybe the Lord is trying to discipline out of your life right now through this time? And so I just think it'd be a great time. Just take some time in the next couple days and ask the Lord to journal those things. Ask him to give you wisdom on what are some of those issues that you need to be applying to your life. And here's why I say that. Because in short term, Lord willing, the restrictions are going to start being lifted. And our first inclination is just to run right back into those old patterns of life. Well, let's not do that. Let's allow the Lord to change the status quo in us so that we might live more productive and godly lives for him and his glory and the good of his people and the advancement of his gospel.